because we are rolling. Welcome back to the Project Gen X podcast. I am one of your hosts, Alan Smith, along with...
I'm the other guy, Big Dave.
And on this episode, we are going to be talking about one of the spectacular movies that came out in one of the best Generation X years, 1984, that also was released on the same weekend as Ghostbusters. And that would be Gremlins.
Oh, that's what we're doing this episode.
Yes.
I wasn't sure.
Tell you?
No, you didn't tell me what we were doing.
Yeah, we're going to do Gremlins this time.
Okay.
Wow, Gremlins.
You said that like I was supposed to respond with.
I know, I didn't really. All right, let's run down Gremlins here real quick.
No notification of what we're talking about. I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah. Okay, so Gremlins stars Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Hoyt Axton. Also has Don Steele as Rockin' Ricky Rigalto. We're going to come back to him in a minute. We have Corey Feldman in a very small early role for him.
Feels like it was probably right after Friday the 13th.
Probably, yeah. He was in 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be right around that same time because this came out in 84.
Yeah.
So that Harry Carey Jr.
Yep.
Dick Miller, who we have talked about several times. Polly Holliday. Do you remember Polly Holliday? She played Mrs. Deagle. Do you know what she was known for?
No.
She was Flo on Alice. Kiss My Grits.
Oh, that was Flo?
That was Flo, yes.
I would have never recognized her.
Yep.
She was very unlikable.
Yeah. Well,
Very, very unlikable.
We'll get into that in just a second. Let's see. Who else is in this? Judge Reinhold. I forgot Judge Reinhold was in this movie. Again,
not for long.
He's only in just a couple scenes, and that's it.
And playing a bad guy, which
Chuck
normally
Jones.
doesn't do. Chuck Jones?
Mm-hmm. You would know Chuck Jones best as being the voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Porky Pig.
Oh, so he was the voice of...
Nope. He played Mr. Jones in this. Okay?
Really?
He was actually in it as a character.
Oh.
Let's see. Who else we got here? Well, Nicky Cat is in this movie. He was just a kid in the background. You would not even notice him if he wasn't anything. But then we get into the voice actors. There's one more very important person we have to point out here. Mm-hmm. This is James McCrell as Lou Landers. We'll get to him in a minute. But starring the voices of Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
Frank Megatron Welker.
Yeah.
Fred Newman, Mark Dodson, Michael Winslow, Peter Optimus Prime Cullen, Bob Bergen, Michael Sheehan, Bob Holt, and then R.I.P. Mushroom as Barney.
Okay.
Mushroom the dog.
Oh.
Because we have to talk about Mushroom the dog because Barney plays a very pivotal role in this movie in some places.
Yeah.
So the reason, before we get into it, the reason I pointed out Chuck Jones in this, Joe Dante, and it's really evident when you get into Gremlins 2, the new batch, which we're not going to, I didn't rewatch that one. And
I've never seen it.
You haven't?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Joe Dante.
I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm not watching that.
It's not bad as far as sequels go. But this movie came out in 1984. Gremlins 2 came out in 1990. By the time you get there, a lot's changed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those like, were we really asking for this? And you can see it quite a bit in this one in certain places, but especially when you get to Gremlins 2. Joe Dante flat said that he envisioned this being a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
And you can see that with some of the stuff that happens in it. That's a very Looney Tunes thing to happen. That's, even to the point of where at one point, where was it? I don't remember. Oh, it was in the bar. Okay. When the Gremlins have taken over the bar.
Yeah.
And she is, Phoebe Cates' character is, using the flash on the camera.
Yeah.
One of the Gremlins, the Gremlin that was on the ceiling fan, mm-hmm. when he goes flying and he runs across the floor and hits his head, you can hear like the little birds.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally one of those things where Joe Dante very much envisioned this movie being a live action Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And you can see it all over the place.
All I'm going to say is that this is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie, and you know why it's a Christmas movie? Did you say who wrote this?
Christopher Columbus.
Chris Columbus, and Shane Black both love to write
things around
scripts
Christmas
that are around Christmas.
Those two must have had some very messed up Christmases or something.
The explanation I remember reading somewhere from Shane Black was usually when a movie is set around Christmas time, it's a Christmas movie. Like, it's a straight up, oh no, this is a seasonal, this is supposed to be. Yeah. And it's like, he's like, why can't other stuff happen at Christmas also? Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I get that.
Like Nakatomi Tower's getting taken over.
Yeah, that whole thing. It's I would be more apt to watch Gremlins as a Christmas movie than I would Die Hard, okay? Or any number of others, including Eyes Wide Shut. But it is a Christmas movie. It's set at Christmas time.
Stop bringing that movie up. Stop doing it.
Well, it's going to come up later in one of our episodes.
No, stop.
It will.
Stop bringing it up. No.
So, when was the last time before watching it now that you would...
It's been a very long time.
Okay.
It was probably a VHS rental for me the last time I watched it.
I was sitting watching this last night, trying to figure out when the last time I had seen this movie.
Yeah.
And it's been probably 25 years.
I think I could edit it down into about 45 minutes.
We'll talk about that when we get into it, because
for me, I nearly fell asleep before the fun started happening.
Really? Okay, so it's an hour and 46 minutes long.
I think I can make it 45 minutes long. I can at least make it an hour 10.
Possibly. There are a couple of notable things that could be left out of this movie, and we'll get to that. For those of you who have not seen the movie,
and I'm usually not the one talking about, hey, we could pick up the pace in this thing. I'm usually very much against that.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
This one, I think, could probably be chopped a little bit.
I think the reason why this movie feels like there's some fat that can be trimmed off of it is because they went through multiple rewrites on this movie from where it started to where it ended.
I can see that.
And originally, when the movie was written, when Chris Columbus wrote this, it was a much, much darker movie. Like, it was a straight up horror movie.
Yeah.
And the studios obviously were like, wait a second. This is something that, these Mogwais are cute, so maybe we can sell these to kids. Yes, Gremlins is one of the reasons that we got the PG-13 rating eventually.
Yep.
Later that summer. It was this, and it was also Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yep. Because
this was rated PG, and then a bunch of parents complained about the violence in it, which, watching it again, my son came in at the end of the movie while I was... It was
talking about the fountain scene?
Yes. Yeah. And he was like... it's funny because he's the same age that I was when I watched this movie.
Yeah.
And it never once, didn't him either, He was just like, oh, what's going on here, Yeah. He really liked Gizmo. He thought Gizmo was awesome. And he was like, what is that? I was like, oh, that's Spike, It was right before the fountain thing happened. And then it happened, and he was like, did he melt? I'm like, yep. He melted completely.
It was almost an homage to Indiana Jones and the...
oh yeah,
the
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah. But it was one of those things. He was just like, oh, that's cool, and that was it. I was just like, yeah, he's my kid. There's no ifs and buts about that. I rewatching it as a parent, I was still not like, oh, this is too much for my kid, And I maybe if they were 5, I could see that, and because the movie very much was marketed as a kids movie.
Yeah.
When it was released, both before and after it was released. I mean, all of the marketing, like the products that were produced for the after, all of like the Gizmo dolls and the little 45 record, the story of Gremlins, all very kiddie.
Oh yeah,
every bit. As a matter of fact, I've got one of the Gremlins 45 read-alongs in there somewhere. And it's very kiddie. It leaves all of the other stuff out of it completely. This is a movie that was marketed to kids where people straight up die. Like multiple people straight up die on camera.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention some of the Gremlins go out.
Yeah, that can kind of be, again, looked at as cartoony. So now, the Spike is definitely
the microwave,
the mom, the
blender,
the microwave and the blender, and Billy chopping the one's head off into the fireplace, and just like it definitely has an edge to it.
Yeah.
I like that though personally. Where I'm like, no. This definitely harkens back and was of an era where kids' movies didn't pull any punches whatsoever. Nope. It's like, hey kid, you want to know what? People die. Watch this.
Yep. As it should be.
They were not sugarcoating anything for Gen X whatsoever.
Nope. And why should they? We were the angry feral ones.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's get into the movie itself, okay?
Okay.
We can go over this. Talking about pacing. Right off the bat, we get into it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with Gizmo especially.
The opening in Chinatown.
Moves
pretty good. It's not until they get back to the house that it slows down.
Yeah, and the whole thing with Billy's dad, which I love the fact that Hoyt Axton played Billy's dad. The whole thing with Billy's dad where he's doing, there's a voiceover on the very beginning and a voiceover at the very end of him, which, okay, I'm fine with this. I have zero problems with it. Normally I don't like voiceovers and stuff, kind of depending. But it set it all up.
Hoyt Axton's got one of those.
Oh, he's got one of those voices. Yeah, I know.
The golden pipes.
Yes, and with him being led to this mysterious shop, and in the
basement of a building in Chinatown,
and very quickly being introduced to the Mogwai.
Yeah,
and it's not long before he has possession of the Mogwai and is told the rules and all this stuff. And so then he brings it home.
Don't feed it. Don't get it wet.
Yeah. Bright lights.
No bright lights. No water. Don't feed it after midnight.
Right.
My question is, after midnight.
I know. There's all kinds of questions.
What time do you get to feed the thing?
I know.
And how do you bathe it when
it's always after midnight. Yeah. And that's something I thought this time too. I was like, man, that after a while, I mean maybe like that, what is it? The shampoo, the water,
You're talking about the waterless shampoo?
Yeah, I guess maybe you could do something like that.
Shake baby powder over the whole thing and shake it out.
But can you imagine you definitely have to brush him a lot, just to get all the tangles out of his fur and everything. And
that's why when Yoda went from a Mogwai to Yoda, he shaved everything.
That's just wrong. But yeah, it's very...
Am I wrong?
Yeah. There are... Plot-wise, there are a few things in this movie that... Okay, so Billy's dad is an inventor.
Yeah.
Okay. He comes back into town, drops off the Mogwai, and then immediately leaves town again. At Christmas. For a convention, I know. Yeah. But it's like, why would you leave town... come back into town, then leave town again, and then come back?
Well, I mean, if he's working out of his house and he's got to resupply for the new convention.
Going back to I had not seen this movie in a long time. There was a whole bunch of stuff I'd completely forgotten about in this.
I think it was a VHS rental for me.
Yeah, and I've seen this movie multiple times over the years, and sometimes it was the television version of it or whatever. But I had completely forgotten multiple things about this movie.
Okay.
For a movie that I loved.
Like what?
Okay. I had forgotten completely about the high school science teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. And then it was after he took Gizmo over to see the teacher and produced another showed him the whole with the water thing, and then he kept that one. I was like, oh yeah, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
But I completely that part of the movie was completely out of my head until
The fact
happened.
that once it comes out of the cocoon, it kills the science teacher.
I remembered that after the fact.
Okay.
After that happened, I was like, oh yeah, I remember what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like most things, we're not going to go through this point by point on the movie, like all the way through. I had completely forgotten that Judge Reinhold was in this movie. There is a small subplot there of he's kind of Billy's rival.
Probably went to high school together.
Yeah, and also the fact of for Kate, that's Phoebe Cates. That's funny. Phoebe Cates' name is Kate. For her affections, basically. Yeah. But he literally is only in 2 scenes.
Yeah.
And
at the bank and at the bar.
And at the bar. And when he's talking to Billy at the bar, he says something about he's 22. He's a junior VP at 22, and he's going to have the old man's job by the time he's 25. And I'm like, really? Like, that's really young, It's
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen. There's probably some nepotism going on there, but at the same time, it's still like, wow, things were different in the 80s.
Or he's very, very, very ambitious and sleazy because he'll figure out a way to get rid of.
I'm sure of that. I had forgotten just how much Mrs. Deagle was the Wicked Witch of the West from...
Yeah.
I mean, like, legitimately. Like, the only thing missing was the music. When she comes walking up at the beginning of it, and the whole thing, I'm going to get your dog, I'm going to, I mean, just like... I was like, wow... I did
that dog. I'll take it to the pound and have it put down. I'm going to kill your dog.
Exactly. I was just waiting for her to say, "I'll get you and your little dog too." That was the only thing that was missing from it.
Honestly, I'm surprised the town hadn't burned her house down before then, because everybody in that town could not stand her.
And it was also she was kind of a Ebenezer Scrooge in this a little bit, as well as kind of a Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life, which is something that It's a Wonderful Life, the movie, shows up in this.
Yeah, it does.
In the very beginning. And
TV in the background in Billy's room.
No, it was in the
You sure?
No, it was in the kitchen.
Was it?
Yeah, he came in and his mom was watching it while she was cooking.
You're right.
In Billy's room, they were watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And then Gizmo was watching an old Clark Gable movie where he's a race car driver. I can't remember the name.
The Invasion of the Body Snatchers pod people was kind of
that was in
foreshadowing
the
of what the Gremlins were going to do.
Which, again, I'm looking to see who... Sorry, I'm trying to find something here. Did Universal do this movie?
It was a Steven Spielberg
production.
Yeah.
Which... The reason why I'm looking for that is because they make multiple Snow White and Seven Dwarfs is shown. Like when all the Gremlins are at the movie theater at the end, they're watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, because remember, they're singing along with the Hi-Ho song. And they actually show the movie, parts of the movie.
Amblin Entertainment.
Amblin, okay, so that's But
it was a co-produced between Warner Brothers.
Okay, well that's why they got Chuck Jones and a lot of that type stuff. It was you can also tell that
Spielberg took it to Warner Brothers and co-produced it through his own company
through Amblin. Yeah.
They
also, I'm sure you noticed that the outside shots of the town on the town square was on the back lot at Universal, and it was the exact same as the same lot where they shot Back to the Future.
Yeah,
I mean that town square and everything. It's that.
Yeah, only covered in Either asbestos or potato flakes.
Yeah, it's probably
for snow.
Back then it was, well, by then we knew about asbestos, so it was probably potato flakes.
Yeah. Which, by the way, folks, if you didn't know, they'll use basically freeze-dried potato flakes as snow.
Yes. I'm trying to think. Oh, the big thing that I had forgotten. Okay. Again, we're not going through this point by point. So once the Gremlins emerge.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sitting there watching it, and of course, Billy's mom takes. All right, so there's 5. All right, so Gizmo produces 6.
Yeah.
He produces 5 of them at the house.
Yeah, and then one for the science teacher.
So there are 6 Gremlins initially.
Yeah.
Okay. Billy's mom takes down 4
by herself.
4 of the 5 by herself, or 3 of the 5 by
3
herself.
of the 5.
Billy
Stripe escapes,
but Billy gets the other one.
Yeah.
But she takes down 3 of them by herself, which, hey, hero right there, you know. And so I was doing that. I was like, okay. And
blender, microwave.
And stabs one to death.
Right.
And then Billy beheads one.
Yeah.
And then Stripe gets away. And then the one that was at the
science lab.
Billy kills it, but I can't remember how right off the top of my head. They're at the school because he's chasing him through the thing. And so I was sitting there doing all the math, and I'm like, if 5 of the 6 are dead here, and I know Stripe's going to make it to the end, I was like, where did all the rest of them come from?
Oh, you'd forgotten about that?
I'd forgotten about the pool. I had completely forgotten about it. I was like, and as soon as he jumps in the pool, I was like, no, that was actually the one.
It was at the YMCA. When Billy comes running out of the building from watching it happen, it's got a big YMCA.
Is that what it? Okay,
building.
Maybe. No, that was Stripe though.
That was Stripe.
Okay, so then what happened to the 6th one? I don't remember. That was one of those things I kept counting. I'm like, so where did all these other ones come from?
Yeah.
And then that was like, oh, okay. Now I had completely forgotten about that pool scene, which is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
The way that shot. I love how when the Gremlins get wet, not the Mogwai, but the Gremlins, when they get wet, especially the pool, and then also with the fountain, how it glows and there's fog and there's smoke and all that. It's like, oh no, I love this. This is awesome. This is 80s cheese like you wouldn't believe.
Oh
I absolutely loved it. I was like, oh, this takes me back. This takes me back 40 years. 40 years. So yeah, but the introduction of Dick Miller's character at the beginning, Billy's car won't. So he's got the Volkswagen, he's got that VW Bug, and it won't start. And then Dick Miller comes in, and he's like, "Oh yeah, these foreign cars, you buy American and
Kentucky Harvester.
Which, had it 15 years, never given me a problem."
Which was a kind of a reference to International Harvester, which was actually, I think, built out of Memphis.
Something like
I know there was a International Harvester factory in Memphis.
Right. But then he's the one that also introduces the concept of the Gremlins. Yeah. About, all these foreign-made vehicles, they have these little gremlins inside of them, and it's like
talking about how they dealt with them in World War II,
right? Which is there was a Looney Tunes, about the Gremlins, because it's what some pilots called these lights that would appear around, and I know there's an explanation for it all, but it's still kind of one of those cool, like, oh, okay, there's lore behind this.
Yeah.
And also, I like the fact that they didn't explain where the Mogwai came from. It was just there. That he had it. And, of course, the grandfather wasn't about to give him up because he was saying, you're not ready for this. This is, it's too dangerous because of all the things that go with it. I also thought it was pretty interesting that he got it for only $200, which I know $200 in 1984 is 3 times what. Yeah, it's what, $600, which is still not that much to pay for something like that. Like I'd pay $600 for a Mogwai right now. It's
nope, not me. You can keep that thing and stay on this side of town.
So my question, since you can't get them wet, is so my dog licks everybody and everything. I mean, he is one of the friendliest dogs you ever meet. Gives kisses to everybody. Does his saliva?
I don't know.
Would that count?
Because the first time he falls asleep and drools on himself, you're going to have mock
yeah,
fly
I know.
everywhere.
There are so many. There are so many questions. They were in the snow. Snow is water. You didn't see any of them starting to bubble up whenever they were in the snow.
Maybe it has to be that specific status of H2O.
It can't. It has to be. It has to be liquid. It can't be solid or gas. Basically, is what it comes down to. But yeah, there's so many questions. Well, there are all kinds of plot holes in this thing.
Plot holes. It's still a fun movie to watch.
I love it.
It's just it's a little slow at the beginning for me.
I'll tell you the 2 points in this movie that are really so slow. Oh, did you catch when Billy's dad is at the convention? The first time he
Lost in
home.
Space.
Nope.
The robot?
Nope.
What's a robot from?
Forbidden Planet.
Oh, that's right. But it also had the time machine in the back.
H.G. Wells' time machine.
And it's there, and it goes to a shot of the house, and it's there, and it goes to a shot of the house.
It's not there.
And then when you go back, it's not there. There's smoke there, and some guy's back there sweeping the spot.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's and then later when he's on the phone, the robot from
Forbidden Planet
is talking to him. You know, he's just,
it was on the phone with somebody else.
He's on the. Was it on the phone with somebody?
It was
else?
on the phone with somebody else, and you're overhearing its conversation.
Yeah, okay.
Of how many orders would you like to take?
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah,
but he walked by initially, and then he's there later.
And then there was like a couple other little things that's like, why does that look familiar? I just couldn't place them.
We're gonna get into some stuff here in a little bit.
Okay.
When Mr. Futterman and his wife get killed,
they get run over by the snowplow because the Gremlins are driving it.
They don't show what happens. That's still pretty intense.
Yeah.
You know, especially for a little movie like this. That's just like, okay. There are several. When Mrs. Deagle dies, again, very Looney Tunes way to go. On her lift, they reroute it, and she goes flying up and out the front. Again, kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yep.
Because when at the end, like whenever she hits the ground in front of the sheriff's car, all they see is her feet hanging out over the top of her chair. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And again, the Gremlins doing very Looney Tunes type stuff, like cutting the brakes on the sheriff's vehicle underneath.
Yeah.
When they get to the bar, they're all caricatures. You know, all of a sudden it's like a whole bunch like, oh, look, you got a cowboy. Look, you got a biker. Look, you got somebody in drag like Bugs Bunny. You got you go through all of this stuff. You got a masked robber. You have a jazz guy. You have like all of this stuff. It's just like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
It's really kind of funny the way that they did all of this. The 2 things that I found that could have been cut out.
Okay.
Because they don't really fit in the story. They were obviously from an earlier cut. Matter of fact, I know one of them, or they both were from an earlier cut, and Joe Dante said he wanted both of these scenes to be in the movie.
Okay.
And they both of them stick out like a sore thumb. They both also have perpetuated urban legends that are not true, that never were.
Okay.
The first one is when he's walking Kate home, and she starts talking about how suicides go up around the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not true in the slightest. You go and look at the data, it's not any greater at the holidays than it is any other time of the year. Matter of fact, the summertime has more than any of the rest of them.
Okay.
But anytime somebody, especially over a certain age, says something about, suicides go up at the holidays, it's because they saw this movie.
Okay.
That, and then later when all the craziness is going on.
Yeah.
And she starts telling the story about her dad coming down the chimney and falling and breaking his neck, and it's a couple days before they start smelling something, and they find him in the chimney. The only thing that was going through my head this time watching it when she's telling that story is, first off, because this place and my old place both had chimneys. I know for a fact no person can get down a chimney because they're just not big enough.
No.
And the fact that he had presents in his arms, I'm like, man, how huge of a chimney did they have for this to happen?
Yep.
But apparently those were both stories from a earlier version of this movie that Joe Dante was like, no, we want to keep these in, and actually had to fight for that last scene about the Santa Claus.
Really?
To put in, yes. I also love how the sheriff and his deputies, or his deputy, like after Mrs. Deagle goes flying in front of him, and then they look over and see the other guy who's dressed like Santa, and they're so calm about, he always does Santa. He's been doing it for years. What's that on him now? And then they're just so like, I just want to go now. They're not like, let's get out and do anything about it. They're just like, okay, let's just go. You know?
Well, if you remember earlier in the movie, when Billy goes to the police station to try to report the fact that there's gremlins and all that, the sheriff and the deputy were already 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah, there is a
drinking.
little bit of that,
They
too.
were already blotto drunk.
I also like the fact how like he's trying to tell them all this stuff and they won't believe him, so he shows them Gizmo, and then they still won't believe him about everything else. Then the calls start coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Because they're drunk. They're a bunch of drunks.
I'll tell you a plot hole.
Okay.
That I noticed that I never noticed before. Never noticed before. 2 things before we go. First off,
It's always 2 things with you on this episode.
Rockin' Ricky Rialto. Okay?
Okay.
First time that we hear him, he's on the radio whenever Billy's dad's coming back into town.
Yeah.
And there's the billboard.
Yep.
And did you notice the billboard? Like the motif.
I didn't really pay attention to it.
It was him. He was dressed like Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
It was very much, and I was like, man, that is so of that era, because this is, you would see stuff like that where that was something that people would do for promotions or whatever. It's like, oh, we'll make this like Indiana Jones. We'll make this like, whatever. We never see Rockin' Ricky. We only hear him on the radio.
Yeah.
So the next time that we hear him, well, it might not be the next time, but the next notable time that we hear him is when everything's going crazy.
Yeah.
And it's Corey Feldman's character calls him and says, hey, there are all these monsters are trying to get in. He's like, man, you people keep calling in with these stupid these stories, these made up stories. I'm not down with all that world stuff. And then you hear in the background the Gremlins break into the studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he goes off the air.
Now, at the end, we hear him again.
Okay.
In the car, and this is like after everything has happened, and he's talking about, or as it's happening, he says something about the Marines were here.
Yeah.
To take care of this, and this was the plot hole. He says, the Marines came in and they took care of everything with fire hose.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go after gremlins with a fire hose.
No, you make it worse.
Exactly. That was kind of one of those, like, I think that was something that they forgot to edit out of that.
Yeah.
The ending of this movie.
I do remember hearing that and going, no.
Yeah.
You just made it worse.
The ending of this movie.
Maybe that's how we got Gremlins 2.
No. Gremlins 2. I haven't seen that movie.
I've never seen it.
In a long time.
I don't want to see it.
Look,
I don't.
As far as sequels go, it's actually pretty good. It's set in New York rather than in the little town that they're. What's the name of the town?
So they pulled a
something
Friday. They pulled a Friday the 13th.
Kingston Falls. I think it was something Falls. It was Kingston Falls. But yeah, it's set in New York, and I forget exactly how Gizmo gets back to Billy at this point. Like, Billy and Kate have both moved to the city. They're working there, and I forget exactly how it all. But it's kind of fun in the fact that they take the different types of gremlins to a whole new level.
Yeah,
like there literally is a gremlin that is made of vegetables. And there's one that's completely electric. like it's electrical current, and like all this type of stuff. I mean, it's just like there are all these like these new.
It makes
there's one that has that's a bat. It's a bat wings, and it flies and all. Yeah. It's just like it's called the new batch. It's Gremlins 2, the new batch, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, there's a whole lot more in it, and it really takes the cartoon to a whole new level.
I know the electrical one's real because my mechanic has had my Tahoe since before Thanksgiving.
That is true.
Trying to chase down an electrical gremlin.
That is true. But the ending of this movie, the way that the old man from the shop
he shows up
all of a sudden and is like, no, I have to take this, and throws the money down and says, you were not supposed to get him, that kind of stuff, and he says, you're not ready, you weren't ready for him, and it shows him walking off into the...
Yeah, but he also looks at Billy and goes, you, maybe someday.
Maybe someday, yeah. So, and I don't remember exactly how they get back together 6 years later. Anyway. What did I say the name of the place was, Ian?
What are you talking about?
Kingston Falls.
Yeah, Kingston Falls.
Which is, again, with the... it's kind of a reference to It's a Wonderful Life. It was Bedford Falls.
Yeah.
Again, set at Christmas time. There are a lot of references to different stuff in here. I pointed out a character in this earlier. I said we were going to come back to him, and there's a reason why.
Okay.
That would be the character of Lou Landers. Okay. Lou Landers is the guy that we saw on the television, the reporter.
Yeah.
That's talking about the riot that happened in Kingston Falls. And he's, blah, blah, blah. Lou Landers was one of the reporters in The Howling.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Also a Joe Dante movie.
See, I might have to go back and watch.
Okay, so there's that through line of like, okay, so that means that The Howling and Gremlins
are in the same timeline.
Are in the same universe.
Yeah.
Doesn't end there.
Okay.
A movie that we covered a couple years ago, Explorers.
Okay.
There is hold on, let me pull it up here so I get it right, because I had saved this. Another Joe Dante movie, okay?
Okay.
There is hold on, let me read. I'm just going to read this rather than trying to go through. Okay, it says, that's what it was talking about the Lou Landers. It said, now, this more or less places The Howling and potentially its sequels in the same universe as Gremlins. The Howling features a scene where characters Terry and Chris investigate Eddie Quist's apartment. His walls are lined with newspaper headlines of all sorts of grotesque varieties. One of these headlines reads as follows: Death by Man-Eating Piranhas. Joe Dante's first feature film was Piranha.
Okay.
So, The Howling, Piranha,
Gremlins,
and then
Explorers.
In Explorers, the kids gather to read a newspaper which highlights their spacecraft as a possible UFO scare or swamp gas. One of the other headlines is a clear reference to Gremlins. It says, Kingston Springs riot still unexplained.
Kingston Springs?
Kingston Falls riot still unexplained. Sorry.
Okay.
Kingston Springs is actually here in Tennessee. So.
Yeah, I know. I used to live over close to there.
But at the end of the movie Gremlins, they're talking about the riot. The Lou Landers is talking about
the riot,
unexplained riot. Also in that, there's an additional headline that reads, Arson suspected in colony spa blaze, which is what happened in The Howling. The werewolf colony being set on fire and everything. So it's like, that's kind of cool that those things that like Joe Dante has strung all of those movies together
into the same universe.
Yeah, and that's and I wish I had known. I remember when we covered Explorers, seeing that and being like, wait, and we on that episode we mentioned that was in there, but I did not realize that all this other stuff was in that. I didn't realize the whole.
That's cool.
The Lou, like kind of.
I wasn't here for that episode.
Yeah, you were.
Was I?
No, you were.
Was I?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I might have been here physically, but
you were.
I don't know.
You were
about
here for
mentally.
it. You were here for it. It's me and Barry. Yeah. The two that you weren't here for were
Space
Camp, and Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but again, it was that little like, hey, did you catch the Kingston Falls thing?
Yeah.
It's like, I really enjoyed this movie.
Oh, it's
going
a great
back
movie.
and rewatching it.
It's a fun movie. I just don't remember it being that slow and big.
There, outside of those two scenes that I talked about, there is the scene in the bar with the Gremlins goes on a little too long.
Yeah,
it really does. Also, something else I want to talk about when they blow up all the Gremlins in the theater, and Spike's the only one that gets away.
Yeah.
Did you notice what store it was that he was in?
You mean where the whole thing ends?
Yeah, he left.
It's Kmart, isn't it?
No, he left the movie theater to go get more candy.
Yeah.
And he broke into a department store. That was around. And from the outside, the sign was shown. It was Montgomery Ward.
Oh.
Yeah. And what I really loved about when they were inside Montgomery Ward was when they were in the toy section.
Yeah.
All the stuff that was in there. It was like, there was ET stuff, and it was all this really cool. Of course, Barbie was everywhere, which again, there was all kinds of Barbie stuff.
Well, Gizmo was driving a Barbie car.
Yeah. And it was just kind of cool. I love scenes like that in old movies where you can kind of look at it and be like, oh,
I don't remember Montgomery Ward having a gun counter, though. But then again, it was the 80s.
Hey, it's funny because Stripe really liked guns. Mm-hmm. Because when they're sitting around the table playing poker, and that one gremlin is cheating, he pulls out a gun and shoots him.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to Montgomery Ward, when he attacks Billy with the chainsaw, I was like, okay, first off, I understand that he's doing the whole moving the baseball bat because it's a wooden bat, but I'm sorry, any chainsaw worth its salt is going to go through that bat in no time whatsoever.
Yeah.
Also, the fact when Billy takes the arrow,
bolt. It was a pistol crossbow.
It was a crossbow
that
right?
had a bolt, and it was only like,
but it goes into his arm.
Yeah.
And then in the very next scene, he's pulled it out. I'm like, no, you do not do that. That is, and no second thought, you ain't moving that arm. I'm sorry, that is going to do so much damage to the muscle. It is going to be massively painful to move your arm after that.
Here's the thing, though. They've been fighting for how long at this point?
I know.
His adrenaline level is
still
going to be up.
Still. That is...
I give it a little bit of benefit of the doubt for the adrenaline.
That made my arm hurt seeing that. But the other thing that really made me hurt is when he takes that baseball in the back from the pitching machine.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, dude, that was coming hard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man. I have been hit with a baseball before, not at the speed that was coming, and it is not fun.
No, you're right.
Maybe that's just the old man in me just being like, oh, dude, that would hurt for weeks afterwards.
He also caught it right in the kidney.
I know. Yeah, it was...
Kidney shot with a 90-mile-an-hour baseball.
I know. I was just like, oh, man, that had to hurt like crazy. There are several things in there watching that because... He got hit. I'm sure he was wearing something underneath it, and it wasn't coming at 90, but it was coming fast enough to where it looked good. That was just kind of one of those like, oh man, oh.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that I remembered Stripe going into the fountain, and then the light, the sunlight coming through and him falling into it. And I remembered him coming up and out of it. I had forgotten him going completely
liquid.
Well, going completely skeletal and then liquid. I just remembered him. I kind of remembered him, or I remembered him like when he was melting.
Yeah.
It was all gross looking. I thought he just went straight from that.
Oh no, I remembered the skeleton.
I did not remember the skeleton.
I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was. The thing that was really cool about this, and again, what is so great about these old movies that use practical effects, is they all stand the test. 40 years later, there's a few places.
One of the places where it kind of pulled me out of the movie a little bit was the scene where all the gremlins come running down the road, and you could tell it was stop action.
Stop motion. Yeah, there are a few places like that, but I'm like, I can let that go. That's not now. The one that I was really looking at was when they're inside the theater.
Yeah.
And again, from a lot of years of watching movies and seeing how they do some of the effects and everything.
Yeah.
You're seeing this like hundreds of gremlins. No, they only had just a few of them. They had quite a few of them, but you could see the theater was sectioned off.
Yeah.
Like there was an aisle that ran between between the different sections. It was like, oh no, they pasted those.
Yeah.
This is it's like you can see that. Plus the fact that theater was huge.
Yeah.
And it was just like, even I've never been in a theater that big, even back before they had all the stadium seating and stuff. It's like I've never been in a theater that would hold that many people. So
Well, you've never been in like a 150, 200 seat movie theater before? With like the balcony and all that? The old school movie?
And there was never any place like that around here. So
I can't believe they didn't have one in Nashville.
never did.
That's crazy.
By the time they got to when they were
Because I know in a lot of small towns they had them because it was also where they would do plays. It was also where they would do community meetings. It was...
Yeah, but nothing like that with I've never been in a theater that had a balcony.
Really?
No, because there just wasn't. There were not any around here. There were theater, the regular theaters. They probably held 150 people or so, something like that. But I don't think I take that back. I have been in a theater that was completely packed like that before.
Yeah.
But even then, there still seemed to be a couple of seats around that were empty, even though it was sold out because whatever reason. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I love the puppeteering.
Yeah.
On all of the, again, it made it, these days, all of that would have been done with CGI. And it would look terrible after a couple, it would look okay now. We would be like, oh yeah, that looks good. And then we go back and rewatch it a couple of years later, like, man, that did not hold up well.
Yeah. Even in today's age, they're still struggling with uncanny valley.
I know. You know what? And I was reading that a few years ago, they talked about a Gremlins television series that was going to be on I think it was on Amazon or something like that.
Yeah.
And Joe Dante, who was involved with it, was like, we're not doing this CGI. We're going to do all of this practical if we're going to do it. And it just never got off the ground. I don't know if it's still development
because it's going to be too expensive to do it.
Probably, but
because the amount of
people, it will look amazing.
The amount of people it would take to do the puppeteering for a show like that for multiple episodes is just going to be cost prohibitive.
I get that, but you have to also think about what we have seen in the last few years with these movie and television budgets just ballooning like crazy. And most of that is special effects stuff, and most of it is CG.
Yeah.
So if you're cutting the CGI out of it, I know it's still going to cost to do all the practical stuff, but is it really going to be that much more? I mean, I can't imagine it would, because the thing is the people who do the CGI are demanding top dollar. And that's been one of the things, I'll be honest, with
it's all going to be AI from here on out.
Well, with the WGA and the Film Actors Guild going on strike, it's kind of been one of those things where I'm like, yeah, good. I'm good. I hope you all go bankrupt, because it's time
for that industry to get stripped back down and actually have creativity come back.
You know what I see happening it's already starting to happen, but I see coming back in a big way, which we saw back in the 90s, is independent film.
Yeah.
That's going to be outside of the studio system, where people are like, look, I don't need all your stupid studio notes. I don't need, obviously you're going to need some kind of editor or whatever to come in, because no one,
by the way,
I
do video editing.
Well, what I'm saying with that is no one comes in with a script that's fully formed.
No.
It's usually most of the way there, or it's there, but you have to whittle it down to its core essence to get it to where it needs to be, or this or that. I get that, but what we have seen so much, and what has killed Hollywood over the last few years, has been studio notes, where you can see that obviously this was no, we have to have this. No, we have to have this. No, we have to have this.
Oh no, we got to have a marketing and branding
and all of that
toys and T-shirts.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing that's happened in the music business.
Glasses.
We're not going to go on all that rant again, but I would love to see more independent. And there's some really good independent films out there. Have you watched Godzilla -1 yet?
No.
Oh man, that movie is so good.
Really?
Oh my God, go see it in the theater. Go see it in the theater. You really need to see it in the theater. You don't have to go see it in IMAX, but go see it in the theater. It'll still look good once it's at home, but again, it's one of those movies that was made in Japan that I think the budget on it was like, I think it was like $23 million or something like that. By the time it came to America, it had already made all of its money back. And then it's been this huge thing that's happened since then. And it's making even more money. It's like, yeah, that's how you make a movie without having a huge budget. And it's still good. I mean, really good. Like, you actually care about the people as opposed to just Godzilla rampaging.
I don't even look to see what's in the theaters anymore because I know I've complained about this.
I know you don't like going to with the seats.
I don't like the reserved seats. I don't like the reclining seats. I miss the old school theater. And
there are still those around.
I have finding them's almost impossible.
Yeah, Opry Mills has them. Not all of theirs are stadium seating,
but I have invested and I have been gifted some very nice equipment, and my home theater system is actually pretty good.
Well, let me tell you right now, because we didn't get a chance to talk about this, I saw Godzilla -1. So good. It is so good.
Okay.
That is a, how do you take this? I love the original, the Gojira.
Yeah.
That is I like, not the Americanized Godzilla from 1954 or whatever it was that they put Raymond Burr into, where they basically took Gojira and Gojira. Why do I keep saying Gojira? And they shoehorned him into it for an American audience.
Yeah.
The original from Japan, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Somehow, this company remade that movie in their own way and made it, dare I say, better.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's not beat for beat the same.
No,
there is.
I wouldn't expect it.
There is, but it's telling the same story.
Yeah.
Semi same cause and everything.
Okay.
But it's just so good. I am not being hyperbolic here when I say it might be the best Godzilla movie ever made.
And you're a fan of Godzilla.
And I love Godzilla. And I love all the man in the suit Godzilla stuff from the 60s and 70s. Like, I love all that stuff, mainly because of the kitsch.
Yeah.
You know? This as a movie is right up there with Gojira. And obviously I can say it because I'm a stupid American and can say these words. But it's
say it wrong again, I'm going to make you listen to an hour and a half of that band.
I know. But it was, and then I also, and I know you're going to be like, whatever, but I went and saw the Iron Claw.
Actually, I'm kind of wanting to go see that. I've heard a lot of good things.
I only have one complaint with the movie.
Okay.
That's it. Is that they left out a brother.
Oh, did they?
Yep. And that's the only complaint I have with the movie. Now, I know that they had to take some kind of creative license to kind of, but that was kind of, I kept going, okay, so where is he? Where is he? Like, no, seriously, where is he? And never once appeared. And I'm like, all right, they obviously decided they made a decision on this and left him out. But the acting's good. The script
it might
is
have
good.
Been that he wanted to be left out.
Well, he wouldn't have any choice because he's dead also. So it's the and whatever. But man, it's a good movie. And if you know anything about the Von Erichs and what happened there, it really hits the tragedy without going overboard.
Okay.
And unlike so many other biopics, they're like, oh, we got to do this. It's like, no. It all feels organic. And I dare you to watch that movie and not fall in love with Lily James. Like, I dare you to do
Okay.
it. I mean, seriously. And she's not even a big role in it, but it's just one of those things. Every time that she's on screen, I'm just like, she's a star. That is
the only apprehension I had about it is that it was an
A24.
Yeah.
Which didn't bother me in the slightest. Look, everything A24 does is not stellar. Okay. They've got some real misses.
Yeah.
But when they hit it good.
Yeah.
And they hit it on this one. Like, this should get Oscar nominations. I mean, we'll see if it actually does or not with their new stupid guidelines.
But I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's out because that means that one actor can get back to making the next season of The Bear.
The Bear.
I need my season 3 of The Bear.
Did you watch Shameless at all?
No.
You know, that's the first thing I ever saw him.
Yeah.
And he was great on there. I mean, he was one of the, in a cast full of great actors.
Him and Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a cast full of great actors, him and
it was Lip and Carl and you talking about William H. Macy's character?
No, I'm talking about Carl. Carl was the little one, right?
Carl was white boy Carl.
The little one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like the youngest brother or one of the youngest brothers. No, Lip and the redheaded kid that played the Joker on Gotham.
Oh, right. Yeah. What's his name?
What was his name on the show? Anyway, but they were both, again, in a cast full of of really good actors. They both stood out of like, whoa. Yeah.
But I need season 3 of The Bear. I need it right now. They need
I have
to hurry
not
up.
watched that, so
Dude.
I've heard good things about it.
Such a good show.
I will have to go in, but yeah, I highly recommend seeing Godzilla -1 and the Iron Claw. They're both just really, really good. Yeah. And if you get a chance, watch Thanksgiving. I know I talked about that a little bit before, but that movie was a lot of fun.
What's it streaming on? Do you know?
I don't think it is yet.
Okay.
I think it might still be in theater. It came out right before Thanksgiving, so it might be hitting soon. So, but
see, I didn't watch any movies over the break. I got 2 books for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
One was The Storyteller from Dave Grohl, which I haven't read yet. The other one was the 4th book in the 1 Second After series. William Forsythe. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I can't. But it's book 4, and I sat down to read it and lost time in it. And I looked up, and it was
what was it? It was 1 second after 1
second after 1 year after the final day, and now you've got, I think it's 4 years later.
Is that what? Okay,
yeah.
I knew that there was a second So I don't know. I know that we wound up off topic like we always do here, but
it's into the podcast.
Yeah, I know, and I also happen to remember that I forgot to talk about seeing those movies on our previous episodes. Yeah. So, but Gremlins. If you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? Especially if you're Gen Xer, because that is one of those seminal movies to watch. Where was it streaming? Did we find out where it was?
It wasn't. I ended up having to rent it off of Vudu.
Gremlins?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was supposed to have been on Max, and every time I went over there to get it, it said something went wrong.
Okay. I thought it was available on Max, but
nope.
I recently, because I've been buying a lot more physical media.
Welcome back.
Well, it's funny because we've talked about it before about why I got away from actual physical media, and then once that hard drive died, I'm like, okay, it's time to go back because so many things that I want to watch are not available on what I have. But I just recently at one of our used media stores here, I found it was a 3-movie pack of Goonies, Gremlins, and Gremlins 2.
Okay.
And I'm like, those are all 3 movies that I would like to have in my collection. So I bought them.
Yep. There you go.
And now I own them. So that was also when I bought that, I was like, hey, this would be a good movie to cover. Yeah. So when I started thinking about topics, we've already done Goonies.
Yep.
And we probably will never do Gremlins 2, except we mentioned it here. It's a decent movie.
It got mentioned.
It was a decent sequel. Okay. That's what I can tell you. It was a decent sequel.
Is it Gremlins 2, Spike Goes to Manhattan?
No, Stripe, not Spike.
Whatever.
I think I called him Spike a couple times.
You know what I'm talking
about. Yeah, but no, Stripe's not in it.
I'm making a Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I know.
Jason Goes to Manhattan.
Well, you got all of those. There's been plenty of those movies where Muppets Take Manhattan or any number of those where they go to New York, and it seems like every movie franchise has that New York.
In this day and age, there should be a movie such and such flees Manhattan.
There you go. Yeah, no joke these days.
Yes, I'm evil.
So it's available. Supposedly, it's available on Max, and you can find it. So supposedly, is what I said.
I have my Roku. I used my microphone. I went Gremlins the movie, and it did a search for everywhere it was streaming, and it wasn't available except for me being able to rent it on Vudu.
Hold on, I am looking to see.
No, it doesn't work.
Well, if I spell it correctly.
Your website was behind on that and 7. Preview.
Okay, the only thing that is available on Max is Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai.
It's a cartoon.
Which is a cartoon that was from earlier this, or it was from 2023. I didn't realize it. Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing. Kind of like another movie that we're going to do here very soon. I know that Gremlins and Gremlins 2 they were both on Max in the last few months because I remember seeing them like going through, and I guess it's just stuff cycles out of there because they get the rights for a certain amount of time and then they're gone. So, although if it's Warner Brothers, they should have the rights.
Should have the rights to it. Unless
now I also know
Amblin. Well, was Amblin part of Disney?
No, Amblin was its own thing. I do know this: a bunch of Warner Brothers stuff is now being
sent over to Netflix
as well as Tubi. Like you can go to Tubi and watch The Batman.
Really?
And that's got ads, but it's there as well as a whole bunch of other stuff.
But
because Warner Brothers is really hurting for money right now, so they're selling off. Hey, you guys can have it. So,
but the thing with Tubi is when it cuts to commercial, they stop the film, they do the commercial, and then they start to film back exactly where they stopped, which I like better than them cutting a big chunk out of the movie.
I like that, but it seems like they always put those things in the most jarring spots of no, not in the middle of that scene. Why would you put it there?
No, you're not wrong about that. Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Project Gen X podcast. Again, go check out all of our social media links.
Go to the show notes.
There will be some other stuff over there.
Discord, email.
Again,
all hate email for Alan goes to the email.
Yeah. We've been doing this show for almost 5 years. We haven't got any hate email yet. So
we're due then.
Well,
we're due. Especially as you get more and more bold.
I figured that's when we've actually made it. So it's.
Oh no.
So, for the Project Gen X podcast, I am Alan Smith.
I think I'm still Big Dave.
And we will see you next time.
I don't know why I'm still doing this with you. See you.
It was Della and a dealer and a dog named Jake and a cat named Kalamazoo. Left the city in a pickup truck, gonna make some dreams come true. Yeah, they rolled out west with the wild sunsets in the Coyote Basin at the moon. Della and the dealer and a dog named Jake and a cat named Kalamazoo. That cat could talk, what tales he'd tell about Della and the dealer and the dog as well. But the cat was cool and he never said a mumbling word. Down Tucson way there's a small cafe where they play a little cowboy tune.
What's the matter? Too bright in here for you, Mogwai?
Yeah. Bright lights.